Welcome to the Create a Life You Love podcast, the go-to podcast for people who are called to make a positive impact through the power of coaching. You'll hear encouraging stories from coaches sharing their journeys and their lessons learned along the way, tips from top experts who help coaches thrive in their life and their business, and so much more. So if you're ready to create a business and a life of impact that you love, let's get started. Hey, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of the Create a Life You Love podcast. I am one of your hosts, Chantal Cox. I'm an author, speaker, transformation neurocoach, and a certified life purpose coach.
Hey, everybody. I'm Guin White, quantum human design specialist and positive intelligence coach.
Together, we are on a mission to dramatically transform and create community in the coaching industry by supporting you in saying no to complicated cookie cutter strategies that just lead to burnout. And instead, we want to help you say yes to simplification with a focus on alignment, service, and impact.
And with our combined experience and areas of expertise, we're here to help you create aligned momentum in your business and your life. Quick tip of the hat to our sponsor, the Create a Life You Love membership, an active community of passionate, purpose-driven coaches who are up-leveling in the most powerful ways to increase their knowledge, momentum, and impact. So for more information and to apply, check out createalifeyoulovecoaching.com/membership today.
Awesome. We are so excited to be here today with emotional energy alchemist, self-love coach, and speaker. And I just did the biggest podcast host foul ever. I did not ask you before we hit record how to pronounce your name. Is it Chelon?
Yes.
Amazing. So those of you who want to start a podcast, don't do what I just did. So welcome, Chelon Lockert. Lockert? Did I say that one right?
Yes,
Okay.
you did.
Chelon Lockert. So Chelon is a self-love queen passionista who has 22 years of experience helping women build confidence in themselves. And through her own inner journey to embodying her divine queen energy, she helps women release the limiting beliefs that are keeping them from embodying their divine beauty from the inside out.
Absolutely. Chelon and I actually met in James Lamb's Superpowered Business Success Program. And of course, we'll share links if you're interested in finding out more about that. But we learned a year's worth of marketing strategies, along with how to create and launch a profitable offer in about 10 weeks' time. It was insane. As such, I'm really excited to welcome her to the Create a Life You Love podcast. Chelon, how are you?
I am doing really good. I'm so happy to be here and to be able to interact with you guys today. Thank you so much for even having me. I'm just like looking forward to this whole experience right now. So,
Fabulous. Well, we always ask our guests to kick off by sharing a bit about their journey to creating a life that you love through your coaching, what got you here, who you serve, those sorts of goodies.
Well, I feel like I've been on this self-love journey for a very, very long time. Since I was a child, actually, I had very low self-confidence, self-esteem. I, was bullied most of my life, and, all of that, when you're experiencing that every day, tends to become your reality, right? And so, like, moving forward from that, it led me to just like settling in, poor relationships because I did not have that confidence and self-worth and everything else. And so as I progressed, I had my two daughters, and they were really my driving force to want to show them their own worth and their, own confidence. And so I ended up. Well, I've been a hairstylist for the past 22 years, and so I've been empowering women from behind the chair, doing that for that long. And then through my own healing journey, I ended up stumbling upon SRT clearing, and that deals with limiting beliefs and all that kind of stuff. And then I ended up, my coach actually, she asked me if I would be interested in certifying. So I went that route, and then just felt really called to progress it that much further and incorporate it into, just helping women to just find that inner light, right? I just, I love building community. I love supporting women. And um, as my girls have gotten older, it has progressively become more and more aware to me that everything that I've been doing has made a difference in their lives as well. And so, even with this whole coaching journey and everything, even if that just made a difference, like it just warms my heart, right? That I like have helped women and helped them and, experienced all of that and everything. So, um, yeah, it's been an amazing journey, and it's gotten me to where I am today, where, I just want to celebrate women and help them see how amazing they are.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, it's all about legacy, especially when you have daughters.
yes.
Incredible. And
Yeah.
you and I share the whole kind of beauty from behind the chair thing.
Hmm.
I early in my career, I
Yes.
trained as a barber and did hair and makeup a million years ago. So yeah, I totally get how you came to this place in
Mhm.
your life,
Yeah,
having come from that industry.
yeah. And it's really like, I don't know, it's just working behind the chair and stuff. I had like a client the one time, and she was kind of going down this like negative spiral, right? And I was like, whoa, whoa. I'm like, we don't talk like that here, like kind of thing. And she was like, oh, right. I forgot where I was. She says to me. And so it is really important for people to like I didn't want to just make people look better on the outside. I wanted to make them feel better on the inside, because that's really when you feel better on the inside, it just like radiates out that much more, right? So,
Yeah,
mhm,
exactly. There's only so much you can do with hair and makeup. It
right?
really has to come from within.
I love so much about your journey and how even before you had the, you know, not necessarily the vocabulary word of coaching, but um, you really didn't have that. You weren't thinking of it in that lens, but you were already connecting with these women, already helping them grow, calling them out on their, BS limiting beliefs and helping
Yeah.
them see that. So that's just absolutely amazing. And um, our audience is primarily coaches, and many of them are in various phases of their stepping into that identity. And so do you have any like lessons that really stand out to you that might be powerful to help them in their journey?
um to build the relationship with yourself first and foremost, right? To be as authentic as possible. Like, it is okay to show that you don't have it all together. Like, some days we're falling apart at the seams as well, right? But that's how we like grow, and that's how we like turn our pain into power, is all what I say all the time, right? Because like our lessons and our experiences, we are able to share with our clients, right? Because we can say we've been there, you know what, and it's going to get better, and it's going to be okay, right? So to really just be truthful and express ourselves, and just to like show up as authentic as possible. And because we're coaches, we're still human, right? We still make mistakes. The stuff still happens in our lives. We're not just like 100% great all the time, right? And so like I think that is probably the easiest way to just like call in your soulmate clients, right? Because they can see themselves in you as well, right? And so I think that's really important, is to just like really embody, discover who you are, and be able to express that out to the world. So, mhm.
I love so much about that, because yes, I see myself and so many other coaches trying to hold themselves up to that standard, and it's
Yeah,
unrealistic, and nobody else expects you to do it. I'm not sure where in our head that expectation comes from.
it's
But
limiting belief.
yes. But so yeah, highlighting that I think is so very key. Thank you for bringing that today.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think yeah, your message of self-love is really powerful, particularly related to, yeah, the other coaches that we are, speaking to today. I think once again, we deal with imposter syndrome, and to such a great degree as coaches, and we've got to be perfect. And clearly, those things just simply, while they feel real, aren't true. I am so curious about SRT clearing, this tool that you use in your coaching
Mhm.
practice. Can you explain what SRT clearing is and how it helps your clients release limiting beliefs, emotional blocks, and what SRT even stands for?
So SRT stands for subconscious release technique. And so what we do is just through conversation, we find the limiting beliefs that are keeping you from progressing forward, right? They're keeping you where you're at, right? Because a belief is just something that we continue to tell ourselves over and over and over again, right? And it's something that we have inquired from like past experiences. It's things that we have inquired from our parents. That's why it can be ancestral. It can be passed down from generation to generation, right? And so it's really important to just pay attention to what you're saying, right? Most of the time, I'm just like writing them down, like what people are saying, right? And I also get lots of intuitive downloads as to what is needing to be cleared as well. And then I end up muscle testing and finding like which limiting beliefs, like I tap into your energy and I find what limiting beliefs are hindering you and from moving forward or whatever. And so then we clear those with a breathing technique and we like refill the subconscious up with more positive like affirmations, beliefs, and all of that. So yeah. And there's also, I don't know, I don't just do SRT clearing in my sessions, I guess. Like I incorporate lots of different things into the experience. Like sometimes we need to do like a visualization, sometimes we need to do like a meditation, sometimes like I use like light language in order to like clear things out and like activate and everything. And so it's really just like what is coming up in that moment that that person needs in order to be able to get them to where we're working towards. So mhm.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
so
super interesting. Super
um,
interesting. And I love how you allow your intuition to really guide you. I think that's so important. And yet another thing I think that coaches, we tend to maybe prepare a little too much when we're
Mhm.
going into work with clients, and we forget, about the presencing and, being fully there in the
Mhm.
moment and allowing what happens, what occurs to guide the sessions. So that's really beautiful that you do that.
Mhm.
Very special.
I found that out very much so with running my group coaching program because what I had written down is not how it's progressed, right? But that's what the group needed, right? And so and that's what it's all about is getting them to where they want to go and getting them their outcome. So yeah.
Mm,
that's beautiful
beautiful.
that you recognize that and you pivoted. You weren't like, nope, this is the outline. Like, so
Yeah.
yes, like really being client focused and client centered, and that's amazing. Um,
Mhm.
so I'm fairly new to this whole energy healing stuff, and I'm getting pretty into it. But it was all like woo stuff a couple years ago, and yeah, so I just wrote down what SRT meant because I keep seeing it on social media, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. So now I do, and I love it.
Mhm.
Um, what I'm finding, and I would love to hear kind of some background and what your thoughts are on this and how other people can um, benefit from it, but that the connection between emotional energy and physical health. Um, yeah, just talk about how those are connected and any tips you might have.
So This is actually one of my favorite things to work with when it comes to dealing with clients, is finding out what aches and pains and stuff that they have, because those are all stored emotions in the body, right? And so then I actually have a book by Louise Hay that is You Can Heal Your Life. And we go through this book and pinpoint, and I muscle test what beliefs are coming up, where this is coming from. And so it really is a great tool to use in trying to figure out what direction we need to go in order to help them like release the emotions that they're holding on to, right? And then be able to like to release the pain from their body as well, right? So and that's basically what it is. It's just like emotions that we don't necessarily deal with, we don't know how to process, or we don't want to, right? And so then they just become stored in our body as aches, pains, inflammation. I think inflammation is probably the biggest one, right? And so it's really important to um process your emotions. I talk a lot about just feel the feels. Like you don't have to get stuck in it, but just to explore, where is this coming from, and to learn how to like release it in a healthy manner, whatever is like working or calling to yourself in order to do that. Because I feel from like my own experience or whatever with growing up and stuff, like my parents didn't teach me how to like manage my emotions. It was not taught. It was nothing that would like, they don't talk about it. They don't know how to deal with it, right? And so like that was one thing that I've really had to, focus on learning and sharing with other people and stuff, is just like the process of how to go about that and where it's coming from. Because oh, where was I going with that? I don't know, just like with uh my kids, like raising them in general, I felt like I was like 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds. Oh, my froze. And I didn't want to be like that. I did not want to be like that with my kids. And I was like, there has to be a better way, because I just do not like, I felt that when I was growing up with my parents. And I was like, I do not want to continue this pattern. This is basically how it went, right? And I want my kids to learn how to be able to like process their emotions as well, right? And so it's been a learning curve, that's for sure. But like at least, I feel like I can sit down and talk with my kids and be like, well, why do you feel this way, and what is coming up, and whatever else, right? And they themselves now know that they can process that easier as well. And so that's like, my girls are always like my driving force with everything. So but I just think that is something that we need to talk about more, is like your emotions in general.
Yes, I so agree. Like, there's some age gap within here, but we're all kind of fairly close together. And yeah, none of us learned that. Like, I picked up my first personal development book at the age of 30, and everything I was learning was so foundational. And that's what I put in my book, because that's what some people like myself needed. But other people who were further along on their journey are like, what is this? Like self-help
Mhm.
101? Like, and I'm like, yes, that was the intent. That's what it is. Like, because
Mhm.
not everybody knows it. Not everybody. Yeah. And so I love, love, love as an educator. I don't have children of my own, but it is getting in the education system. Parents are getting familiar with it, and parents are teaching it. And I'm just so excited to see where these kids are at age 30, when, it's not new to them, like how much further ahead they're going to be and better at coping them with their emotions.
Mhm. No, I agree 100%.
Exactly. So powerful. Um, as a positive intelligence coach, we talk a lot about saboteurs, those negative emotions that trigger the saboteurs or the negative emotions in others. So you talking about parenting and that being so important, learning how to essentially identify and intercept those emotions, process them, as opposed to allowing them to trigger you and then to trigger your children, etc., which becomes essentially one of those, behavioral patterns that so many parents and children have.
Mhm.
And of course, as an educator, Chantal, I'm sure you see the repercussions of that As you mentioned, we've all grown up with the repercussions of that. We know what it's like to be on the receiving end of that as children. And, it's really beautiful, Chelon, that you are breaking that pattern, not only in your own life, but you're helping other people, your clients, the women that you work with, do that for themselves. And I really can't think of a greater expression of self-love. And of course, you as the self-love passionista, I would love to hear kind of how you define self-love and what practices you would recommend for cultivating a deeper sense of self-love.
So yeah, self-love, I feel like is just being true to yourself, right? And I always say, like, giving to yourself mind, body, soul, filling up that cup before you give to everybody else, right? And so that you can give from like an overflowing cup, because when we're trying to give from a depleted cup, or like playing the, fill deplete game, like it gets to be you, that's when you get run down, that's when you get tired, that's when you get overwhelmed, right? And it's really about like tapping into yourself and asking yourself, like, what do I need in this moment, right? And honoring that, guilt free, right? It's releasing the guilt, right? And being like, I deserve this right now because I am me, right? Like, I don't have to do or be anything else. I don't have to like earn it. It's okay to just be like, this is what I need in this moment, right? And so I think that is a very, strong, way to give to yourself, like, love in general, and to not expect it from anywhere else either, right? Like, that is the biggest thing, is to be able to discover how you need love, what type of love you need, and to be able to give that to yourself. Because when you're able to give that to yourself, then it's like reflected back to you from the world around you, right? And other people will give that same love, right? It's all about finding, I was just talking the other day to somebody about discovering what your love language is, because it's not just relationships, it's for yourself as well, right? How do I like to be loved, right? And discovering that and being able to give that to yourself. So I think that that is like really important. But
That's beautiful. Yeah, I
yeah,
love that. And so simple again.
right.
You know, you don't have to follow some technique. Just stop making yourself feeling wrong about following your heart and
Mhm.
doing what it is that you really need to do so that your cup is filled. I adore that phrase.
Yeah,
As
I'm like,
we use that in human design all the time, this concept of being sustainable. And, again, you really can't give to the people around you, your clients, your family, your children, until your cup is full and
mhm,
overflowing,
mhm,
frankly.
yeah,
It really needs to be overflowing so that you can give from the overflowing cup.
yeah. And sometimes that means like releasing things that aren't
Yes,
serving you anymore, you know,
exactly. The energy
and
drainers.
being
Yeah.
okay with that. Like, you have to put up those boundaries and be like, this is not serving me. It's something that I need to let go of, right? And I always focus on, like, is this going to fill my soul? Is what I
Mm,
always focus on, right? Like, my dad, he
mm,
just actually retired. And he was messaging me and he said, like, oh, I should be busy. I should be finding
mm.
stuff to be busy and stuff. And I just said to him, I'm like, that, just do stuff that fills your soul. Like, if it doesn't, then it doesn't, it doesn't. Sometimes we have to, or I hate to use have to, but we get to do things that, help us in our progressing forward and stuff that aren't necessarily that much fun. But I like to try and find the fun in things, because otherwise I don't like to do it. Right?
Exactly. Shifting your perspective is a massive way to essentially tackle things that feel obligatory. So, I
Mhm.
mean, those tiny little shifts. And I
Yeah.
love that you're parenting up. We talk about managing up, you're parenting up. You're parenting your parents. So good for you.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
that. And you've already shared so many amazing little nuggets, like that little shift of, I have to versus I get to, and finding the joy and letting go of things that are no longer serving you. And you've already mentioned an amazing book by Louise Hay that we will get in the show notes. But we'd love to highlight other things you attribute to your success. Like, do you have favorite thought leaders or other books that you would recommend?
Well, my favorite that I started out with was Gabrielle Bernstein and The Universe Has Your Back. Very much so. Do you know what? Shannon Kaiser has what is the book? It's a self-love book. It's like the self-love. I can't even remember. My apologies. I have it though. But yeah, two very beautiful, empowering, inspiring women that definitely helped me, like, push me into my coaching journey, because I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to make a difference. Like, yes, I can make a difference with my clients behind the chair, but I just want to expand on that and push that outwards. And you know what? I am inspired by so many women that I meet online on a regular basis that I would just like love to shout out absolutely every one of them. But like, I just think that women are just so amazing and so powerful. And I think that together that we just, we can like change the world for the better, honestly. And I just love that we're getting into this era where we support one another. And I think that in itself is really important. Because I definitely had that sister wound, if you want to call it, that I had to work through in regards to being able to trust women again. Right. And so it was like, yeah, that was a hard thing for me. And so to be able to go, I went on a retreat last summer. I was invited to. It was a gift, and it was the biggest blessing that I received in my coaching journey. And it was just so inspiring and empowering and eye-opening. And I met so many amazing women, and I never felt so at home in my life. And some of them have, like, I'm still in connection with them, and I'm just like looking forward to seeing them again this year. And it was very healing for me in that retrospect to be able to like open up and like make connections with women and collaborations and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Beautiful.
That's
Beautiful. Yeah. The importance of retreats, whether they're shared or solo, I think is a great message again to reinforce for sustainability and self-love. Chelon, can you maybe share some final thoughts or advice for anyone who's listening who may be struggling with limiting beliefs, self-doubt, finding balance in their personal, professional lives?
Well, like I said, a belief is just something that you continue to tell yourself, right? And we actually create our own reality. So if you're continuously telling yourself the same thing, to just stop, explore where this is coming from, right? You can release it. You can create a better thought, right? If it doesn't feel good, like, it's not for you. Right. And so it's about releasing that, letting it go however way you want. Sometimes it's journaling, and you can just like burn it if that's like one way, if you want to work on it on your own kind of thing. But like, everybody has their own gift, right? There's a lot of people that can do certain things that I do, right? There's a lot of different coaches out there that can do, what any one of us do. We all have the same certifications, but it's about bringing your own special gift to the table and showcasing that to people, that this is how I can help you. Right. And people that will resonate with you will come to you, and if they don't, that's okay. It's about like remaining unattached to the outcome and just like being able to just embody the journey, right? Like, so much lately, I've just been focusing on falling in love with the moment. so that staying in that moment, right? Savoring it and focusing on, like I always say, the five senses to bring you back to the now so that you're not in that spiraling, like, oh my God, what about this? I have to do that. I have to do this. Da, 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 da. There's all this stuff to do. And like this coach is doing this. And it's like, no, come back to the moment, come back to yourself, refocus, and it'll just all flow. Like it'll be okay, and just like it'll be okay, right? Just trust the process is the biggest thing that I've been telling myself lately. So mhm.
Well, that's fantastic. That was really inspiring to me.
I'm so
Like
glad.
you were speaking right to me. And yes, this conversation has just been so fun and so beautiful. It's been so amazing having you here.
Thank you. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You two are such wonderful souls.
As are you. So excited to now be connected and have you in our world. Well, you are already in Guin's world, but I'm very blessed to have connected with you. And I know that after listening to this episode, other people are going to want to connect with you. So where are some places that they could do that at?
Well, I'm on Facebook as Chelon Lockert, and I also have my emotional energy alchemist page, and then I have Instagram, which is Chelon_self-love queen, and I also have my website. I hope this inspires you.com. And I also have a Facebook group where Queens Unite. And I do special days where we'll do like oracle card pulls, and we'll do like clearings on Fridays and stuff. And so, yeah, like I thoroughly love doing incorporating oracle cards into my coaching sessions as well. It's amazing how aligned everything is, and it's very exciting to just see how everything always progresses. So
Amazing. And we will be sure to get all those links in the show notes. And I believe you are graciously giving listeners a freebie called Slay the Day Checklist. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, being a solo mom, I know how important it is to multitask. And I just found incorporating little ways to fill yourself up into like your daily routine helps you to like keep your cup overflowing, as opposed to, like we were talking about, the struggle between depleting and refilling all the time, right? And so this is a checklist for you, ideas and stuff in order to incorporate into your daily routine and what's going to work for you. And it also comes with a guided grounding meditation and protecting to do. It takes it's like 2 minutes, like to just, keep yourself grounded and protected to start going about your day. So yeah.
Beautiful. I can't wait to get that myself. And I you've made it so easy to incorporate and in a busy day or busy life. So important. So brava for that.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Chelon, for joining us today. I know our listeners have been so inspired by what you've shared. And speaking of listeners, we would love to hear what your takeaways are from today. Please let us know, and please share this episode with someone that you think would benefit from it as well. And also, if you would please leave us a review at ratethispodcast.com/CALYL. That's for Create a Life You Love. That's always appreciated. And of course, you can quickly and easily leave a review from any device by grabbing the link in the show notes. Once again, that's ratethispodcast.com/CALYL.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Chelon. Everybody, if this approach is resonating with you and you too would like to be part of the Create a Life You Love movement and help create community and dramatically transform the coaching industry, we are currently accepting applications for the Create a Life You Love membership. Just head to createalifeyoulovecoaching.com/membership. And we'll also have that link in the show notes, as well as anything else that was mentioned. And those of you who have reached out inquiring about the April 22nd AI for Business workshop, it's a little bit on hold as we're gearing up to launch some pretty exciting AI supported tools that we will probably have an entire episode on shortly. But the replay for the last workshop is available. So head over to createalifeyoulovecoaching.com/chatGPT if that is something you would like to check out. And thank you so much for tuning in and for all of your feedback and support. Enjoy the journey. Thank you for listening to the Create a Life You Love podcast. We would love to hear from you about your biggest takeaways. Share them with us on Facebook or Instagram at Create a Life You Love Coaching. If you love this episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It's very much appreciated. If you're ready to build aligned and sustainable momentum without overwhelm and burnout, we invite you to apply for the Create a Life You Love membership on our website, createalifeyoulovecoaching.com/membership. That's it for now. Enjoy the journey.